And a Happy New Year
And
to
a
all
very
of you.
Happy New Year and a prosperous New Year and a healthy New Year.
And good to see you all again. And particularly, I know that we got a lot of new subscribers over the last few months. So for many of you, I expect it's the first time you've been here. And so what we do tonight on a Saturday night, this is our live show in which you can get to ask Jane and myself any questions about things that you might have seen on our videos. You know, Jane's got her own channel now as well, by the way. And you can see and ask us anything you like. So start typing in your questions now, and we've got Domenico in the background there again, who will be picking the questions up, and we'll select some of them for us to answer. So it's your show, and we're going to say hello to everybody.
Right. Michelle, good evening, Craig, Jane and Domenico, and of course Boo. Good evening, Michelle.
Boo's the cat, if you're new. Melanie's saying, go on, I haven't got my glasses on. Hello, Craig and Jane. Love watching you guys. It's the first time I've been able to live chat. Much love. Kathy and Melanie from Vermont in the USA. Well, good to see you from the USA.
Yeah. Annette said, good day. Anita here from Sebastian, Florida.
Ah, right.
Marilyn says, hello from snowy Calcutta.
Connecticut.
Oh, right.
Snowy Calcutta.
Oh, it's him. He has an influence on me.
It might be the way the weather's going out there, isn't it? Who knows what they're doing. Yeah. Agility Bits, who's Pat, because she's one of our patrons. Hello from Cornwall. Has Boo got his own shop?
Yes, he has, and I believe he's going to franchise it later.
Well, he is. I've got Boo cups and things out there for those of you that are interested. And we'll have to sort of we'll have to start showing you Danielle's new cat, Grongo, sometime too, or Grugo, whatever his name is. But he's another real character that I think you'd enjoy. But you can buy the cups, you can get these ones too if you want. Not that I'm here to push them. Good evening from Stavanger in Norway. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Domenico. That's from Selvi.
All right. Franco says, at last, a reminder.
What about Boo? I don't know. Missed you. Yeah, see, we've been a few weeks off, haven't we?
2
because
weeks.
yeah, 2
Christmas.
weeks off. It seems like ages.
Christmas,
It seems like ages. We got our seance room ready too now, so we're going to be doing that over the coming months as well. Hello, I'm from I can't read it. Teverham, near Norwich in Norfolk.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a long way from Calcutta.
A very long way from Calcutta. A long way from Winchester too.
Hi from Scotland, says Sasha. Now don't forget, guys,
Sasha.
start typing your questions. I know we're saying the hellos at the moment.
Jeanette's hi from Scotland, UK. Hi, Jeanette. Patrice, hi from frosty Germany.
Yeah,
it's been quite cold here too.
Yeah,
isn't it?
the weather's going up and down. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's freezing. It's funny. English, we're English here. That's
Kitty
why we talk about the weather.
Good evening, Jane and Craig. Happy New Year. Catherine from Manchester. Good evening, Kitty Whiskers. And Diane, I'm here from East Coast, USA.
Great, good to see you.
Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Americans joining the channel recently, actually, because I've made a number of predictions about the American things.
Maureen says, Happy New Year from Seattle. Blessings. Craig?
Happy New Year and missed your shows, Sairam, says Karen. Yes, Sairam to you. That's an Indian greeting, around Sai Baba and things like that, talk about Sairam.
Nian, good evening, Jane and Craig. Very Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you too. Louise, sending much love and blessings from Australia. Tara.
Australius.
Oh, is that Latin?
Earth Australius, I suppose. I don't know. Happy New Year to you both, says Jin. Jin is obviously from the spirit world.
Jin, J-I-N, not Jin, G-I-N.
Jin is a spirit from the Arabian traditions. Happy New Year to you both. Oh, else I got that one. Elaine Wright says, Craig, get yourself some glasses because you're reading them all wrong. Hi, Craig and Jane. Missed you both, especially Craig, as always happy even when he's told off. Please, could you do more on animals? Happy New Year, Elaine from Warwickshire. So write a question, Elaine. You know, write your questions. We can do all sorts of things. This is your chance to ask whatever questions you want.
Good morning, Craig and Jane. 5:30 a.m. here in Adelaide, Australia. Gosh.
Actually, there's some good new animal stuff on the new website we're developing. We should be out any week now, but it's going to look really fantastic with some new stuff happening. and lots of interactive things for you to join. Diane saying Italian American who loves England. GB. Even more thanks to my ex-BF, a Pakistani American, ex-boyfriend. Okay. Yeah, well, we've got a strong Italian influence, so we will definitely this year, be broadcasting from Italy as well, because we're setting up a studio in Italy as well. So that will be interesting. We might go down there for the summer months and broadcast from Aruzia, isn't it? What's it called? Abruzzo, whatever it is. But we got something really fantastic set up in a fantastic setting for you. It's coming soon. Hello, Craig, Jane and Dom. Greetings and best car backfired for 2022 from cold Switzerland.
Right. Neil, do you see the arrivals of different civilizations from other planets arriving soon? He's here!
Yeah. Do you remember that person? God, we got bangs going.
They're coming!
They won't hear it because the mics won't pick that up, I don't think. But do you remember that person who used to think, was absolutely convinced I was from another planet?
I think they were right,
whatever I said, they wouldn't believe that I
think it was a lizard.
So what's the question exactly? Do you see the arrivals of different civilizations from other planets arriving soon? I don't think so, frankly. You see, I don't know. This is the UFO questions again, isn't it? Which is quite interesting. I mean, my take on it is, I'm pretty much convinced that there was extraterrestrials of some sort visited this planet centuries and centuries and centuries ago, tens of thousands of years ago, possibly, and maybe triggered our evolutionary leap. I mean, there's theories about, for example, people ask, why don't we have any hair on our body like the other animals have? Some people say, it's because we went back to the water as apes, and the aquatic ape theory meant that we lost all the hair on our body and therefore we didn't need it. Or was there some genetic leap made further back in which we were sort of perhaps mixed with an earthly species such as the apes, and maybe our genes were mixed with some people from other planets to create a being that could take on the knowledge of the previous planets, plus have an earthly form based on the ape form. You know, there's lots of question marks around the potentials of what goes on, why we all got these strange blood groups, you know, what happened way back. And there's so many references, aren't there, to civilizations that came here before. You know, the idea of the snakes, for example, of the snakes as the bringer of knowledge. And I'm really fascinated by some of the stuff you find in the Indian literature about, you know, the snake levels, the Naga, and that they're still connecting with us now. In fact, when I went to see Sharavana Baba, I went, you know, he goes into a trance and the Naga talk through him. So maybe they're here, but maybe if you were to travel those huge distances that are required to go these vast areas of space, you know, the speed of light wouldn't take us there. But maybe consciousness, maybe there's another way, maybe there's an interdimensional way of travel. So if people were to arrive here from another planet, I don't think they'd be coming in flying saucers and spaceships. They'd be arriving in a different way, a bit more like they did in Terminator and things like that. That's my thoughts. What do you think, Jane?
Well, there might be some amongst us already, but looking in human form.
Well, there's always the talk about...
Because they say the blood groups rhesus negative O is linked up to aliens. That's what they've said.
Some do, yeah. I mean, there's no proof of it, is there really?
But if you go back to the Tsars and that, their son was a haemophiliac. He had a very rare blood group.
Yeah.
And they think it all originates going back centuries.
What haemophilia does?
No, blood groups.
Blood groups, yeah. I
linking
think
up to
we got
other
all
species.
sorts of. Yeah, they think some of them, the Neanderthals, might have been mixed their blood with ours.
Right, Joanne says, do you think Prince Andrew will get caught up with all what's going on? Well, I think he definitely will, and I think there'll be a few more things coming to light. I mean, I believe this is a karmic year, and if you've done wrong, I believe it will come to the surface. If you do good, then you're gathering good karma all the time. Well, you know, if somebody was completely innocent, I think they'd do a bit more than trying to get a case dismissed, wouldn't they? You'd be actually turning up in the country to defend yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if he's so innocent, why did they try so hard to get it thrown out through such legal wranglings, sort of saying, well, the Virginia what's-her-face was not
Griffin.
even an American citizen and wasn't resident in America, therefore can't be tried in America. I mean, that is loopholes of loopholes of loopholes, isn't it, to do that? I mean, everybody that's, you know, the law should apply to everyone. You know, and that's democracy can only work if the law applies to everyone. And the problem is it doesn't, because in most cases, money buys justice, doesn't it? You know,
Well,
if you go and see a lawyer about anything, they say, well, how much are you prepared to spend?
Well, the
You
thing
know?
is, I think you'll find that he'll want to try and settle out of court. But this judge, I got the feeling, doesn't like to be told what to do, even if it's somebody associated with the royal family.
Oh, yeah, the judge is
The
stubborn.
judge has already said,
Good on him.
we'll have no hunting dogs in my court.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and I think he's right too. I mean, I mean, how many people are not brought to justice in all of our countries?
Well,
you know,
Don't you find, Craig, it usually starts from the very, very top and lots of money, and then it reaches down to the bottom when people do wrong things in this life.
The thing that worries me is that if you want justice, you have to buy justice. Because I know people who've who have been obviously wrongs done to them, and they try to take it to court. And what the people, if someone's got more money than you, they just keep on and on and on until you can't go on any further. I mean, my dad was one of those people that had the drug called Operon, which was a whole big scandal here in the UK. And it caused him terrible troubles, an arthritic drug that went wrong, caused him terrible troubles, and all his legs came up. And that Operon company, they just spun the case out so long because they knew that the people that took arthritic drugs were old, and therefore the longer we spin it out, the more people will die and the less money we have to pay out. And it was the same with all these big cases that we see in the past, with that carbine one, and what's it, carbine in India and things. I mean, they just spin it out and spin it out. The law is governed by money. And that is exactly the same with Prince Andrew. Money is going to keep him out of court. But I think eventually he'll get caught.
You will.
And I think it'll happen once the Queen's dead.
Well, I don't want to die just yet to get him out of court.
No, but I think then there won't be so much defence of him.
I don't
think Charles will defend him in the same way the Queen will.
I don't think taxpayers should pay for his settlement.
No, well, he's paying it out. They're selling that estate in the
But you can't
that
sell
ski resort or something.
It's 17 million. That's 17 million.
That's a lot of money. That's one little asset he's got. Pay his own bloody bills. And then when the Queen pays the bills, where does she get her money from? Because she has her own alleged private income, but that's only come because the interest they made on the money we've already given them. No, we've got to bring these people to book. Happy New Year, says Jane Arnold. Good to see you both. Craig, will you still be doing a separate video on the royals? Oh yeah, I did promise that. Well, yeah, we can do some more separate videos on the royals. I think it's going to be an ongoing issue through 2022. So I'm sure Jane and I will discuss it a number of times. I'll talk about it on some of my private videos as well, and Jane will do some, I'm sure, in her little videos that she does. Yeah, we'll cover that loads of times, I'm sure.
Craig, talking about the royal, we have Queen Victoria.
Oh yes, did people see our new picture?
Yeah, and of course Queen Victoria.
You can't see the top of it.
No,
you can't see her.
But Queen Victoria was very much into mediumship, and she had Brown, didn't she?
Yeah, we'll have to put a separate camera on that for next
What's
time.
his name? Brown.
Yeah, John Brown, wasn't
John
it?
Brown, our own personal medium. So
yeah, we've
very
got Queen
interested in
Victoria
that.
up there. I should have moved it. I've just put it up. We should have moved it down slightly. She looks very regal, very. We are not moved, you know.
We are not amused.
We are not amused.
Not
that's it.
moved.
Yeah,
Not
we're
amused.
I was trying to think of. But anyway, it was good fun. We went and travelled a long way to get that. Actually, we found it up for sale.
It's Matt.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt.
Are there any plans to do a live ghost hunt show on YouTube? In Winchester, the Eclipse Inn, Winchester, is supposed to be one of the most haunted places. Yeah, just down the road, the Eclipse Inn, actually. Yeah. But I'm not so sure about pubs and things like that, because I suppose some of them are closed, aren't they? I mean, the Green Man's just down there, and that's closed down. could ask. We will do things like, I know you're really interested in these sort of things, Matt, because we've talked to you, of course, through Facebook, I remember. You're welcome to join us, Matt, sometime if you're down this way, because we've got the new sort of section set up, which we're calling the Seance Room. But it means we can have people all around the table and we can talk about things. And if you've got some pictures, we can put them up on the screen and things. We can discuss what you found and things. You're welcome to join us sometime. Any other people that have interesting things you'd like to share, we will have guests. You'd have to get to us on a Saturday, and we are in Winchester. But then once you get here, we can look after you, and you can join in the show. So there's we want to expand that in 2022 because we've got a whole new section that we're going to be opening up. And do some seances themselves as well. Oh, thank you for giving a little one of those booster things on YouTube, Matthew. Paid $4.99. Thank you. So your question, I can't see straight tonight.
He says,
who do you see being the Democratic nominee in the US in 2024? Kamala Harris. Someone else? Biden? Even though he'd barely be alive. LOL.
I thought Trump was going to come back again.
I think I see following Biden that there's going to be I've mentioned this on some of my predictions, that I think Trump will have another go at things. I think he's going to be doing it hand in hand, as it were, with a black female woman.
Rephrase that.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? So she's going to be, him and a black female woman's going to be working together. There's lots of potential candidates for that, but I don't want to stick my neck out and say which one it is because I'm not sure. I just saw a female woman, and I don't think the deputy, as Kamala, isn't it? Kamala, what's it? Oh, I don't see her following Biden, but I don't see Biden staying there very long. And I don't think that Polanski, I got my name muddled up tonight, is going to get through either. Nancy, what's her face? So I think, I get the feeling that there's going to be something very, very unusual happening. And Trump, I feel, is going to come, because I think Biden's going to really drop in the polls in 2024. And in November it all happens, doesn't it? And I think he's just going to fall flat on his face. He keeps trying to come back with all this, appearing like a strong leader and things like that. But I think everybody sees through him and sees him as a weak man, both the Democrats and the Republicans. And of all the people that you can choose to lead the free world, that's all we could come up with. No, I think we've got to do better than that. And I think there's going to be a very strong opportunity for a black female woman coming through as being very dominant, and I felt Republican and working hand in hand with Trump. But let's wait and see. These things, you see part of it, you don't see all of it. But that's what I was getting, a strong feeling like that.
Now, Jin says, will you be going back to India and see Sharavana Baba? We'll be interested to see what he says. Well, he's here at the moment, isn't he, in London? He's
here in the UK. We wanted to try to see him
have the book blessed.
Because we'd written the new book, Be Happy. You saw my new book out then. Thank you. So many of you actually bought that book. I was really amazed. And thank you for some of the fantastic reviews you put on Amazon. Really appreciate those reviews. Lovely. You're really kind. And if you've bought the book, write a review on Amazon. But so we were hoping to give him the book, but then all this COVID came around again, and we were a little bit worried because there was such sort of mass events happening around him. It felt for us it would be a bit too much of a squeeze, and we were a little bit worried about carrying the COVID back, even though we've been inoculated. So hopefully we'll see him soon, in fact very soon, hopefully, because it might be the right time. He's still in the UK. I get a feeling he'll probably sneak back in at Shivarati. But so I think we need to move quite soon on that. But we've got a few things happening, a lot happening in our lives at the moment, which is making quite difficult to plan things, because we might have to go abroad ourselves shortly. The number of deaths with the Omicron virus has increased today. Will we have a lockdown in the UK?
I think they're going to try and take it not so severe like they did in the last lockdowns, don't you?
I don't think we'll have a lockdown, not a full lockdown.
No.
I think they will get stricter with the idea of who can go into a venue who's not vaccinated. But I get the sneaking feeling, though, that they're trying to, because this new Omicron strain is very hard to control, and it seems to be less deadly than the original. In a way, it's become its own antidote, because I think they're hoping, in the UK at least, they're going to get a sort of herd immunity by those that haven't been vaccinated, getting the Omicron, not being put into hospital in such a same level, and getting a sort of herd immunity. So I don't think they're locked down. I think they might try to restrict entry to some things, unless you're proven to be vaccinated or have tests and so forth. But I get a feeling that they're thinking, let's just let it run. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can go for this herd immunity idea like they tried to do in Sweden. It won't solve the problem, but that's what I think they're thinking.
Gosh.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you,
Who's that?
Vanajay. I don't know what currency that is.
Is that Chinese, isn't it?
It might be Korean.
Korean?
Indian.
Indian?
Oh, it's rupees.
so
Thank you
much.
very much. 499
Bless you.
rupees is a lot in
And
India.
may you have many blessings on you
Actually,
for that.
499 rupees is a lot in India, because
Yeah,
I
it's
know it is.
lovely.
An old Brown saying, how do you get a reading, please, from yourselves? I don't want to ring your hotline as had previous bad experience. Oh, did you? They're pretty good, those people, usually, though. We don't organise them ourselves, but very rarely get a complaint. Would live reading from yourselves direct if possible, please?
Where does she live?
Well, Jane does readings from home. So there is on the website, you can get a link to get to Jane if you come to Eastleigh, which is near.
Readings.
But Jane doesn't do phone readings. I do phone readings, but I'm just rebuilding the website at the moment, and I'll be putting the options for that coming up by February, really. So we will have it back online. And when those readings come up by phone, they go foul like that. They're gone instantly. And we will be having a sort of a tier system, so those that I've been seeing regularly can also have an opportunity to be able to book me more regularly, those that have been with me over the years. So we will have quite an interesting and well-developed system. Guess who's doing the website? Domenico, of course.
Can I just say something? But my readings are face-to-face, that you come into my spiritual room, and that's for 1 hour, and I give a reading like that, so you'd have to travel to me. I don't go travelling to other people, and I don't do phone readings, and I don't do email readings.
No, I do phone and email, and that's how we divide it, because obviously if we had both of us working from home all the time, we'd have so many people clambering through the house. And people fly from all over the world to see Jane, and people call me from all over the world. So, that's the options we have at the moment, but they are a bit few and far between, because.
Right, this is for you, Craig. Lola.
I bought 3 of your books, and and I'm a patron. So why are my questions always ignored? Well, they're not. Hello, put your question up, Lola, and you should.
Put it now.
Your questions don't get ignored, certainly in the patron. They shouldn't do, because I try to answer every question in the patron system. If you ever got any questions for me, and Lola, also don't forget, I've got Zoom coming up soon too, on Monday. So you can join me in the Zoom class, and you can ask me questions face to face, because I do a regular Zoom for the patrons, and so that'll be on Monday, and you can come in and ask questions. That's a really nice little group we have there. We published some of the videos here on the UK. A super sticker, that means someone's given $20 just.
Oh, thank you very much.
Just supporting us.
Thank you very much, Diane. That's very kind.
They think I'm such a lovely person that they think I've got to give Craig $20.
Oh, they give me
which is
more,
very,
Craig,
very kind, actually.
they give me more because they know I'm a goddess.
But thank you, sir, because it's all your support, that helps us on doing all this, and in particular the patron stuff, because we got this set up here now. It costs a lot of money because it's here in Winchester, which is an expensive place. But, it means we've got a venue, we can do it every week, we can come in, sit down, get straight on with it, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to reach out to you, and you to ask questions, and us to sort of kind of form our own little spiritual movement between us, really.
Hi, Kathy. I hope you're well, and I hope your husband is. As a lot of people are turning to Buddhism, do you think it could overtake Christianity in time? I think I think religion is a personal thing to a person, don't you, Craig?
So it's Buddhism and things are increasing quite a lot in the West.
But I think it's what's right for you, really.
The problem is, I think all of these things, I think a lot of people don't understand what they are about. For example, Christianity and Buddhism are two very, very different things, really, because Christianity believes in a God. Buddhism is actually an atheistic religion. It doesn't believe in a God. There's no God in Buddhism. The Buddha himself didn't push the idea of even having gods to worship or Buddhas to worship. That's because people want to embellish it with the idea of gods. No, Buddha believed in nirvana, which is a state of hard to explain existence beyond consciousness, even beyond consciousness. Conscious is probably the easiest word to describe it as higher expanded awareness. And a lot of people also turn to Hinduism, which is of course full of gods for everything. And so a lot of people don't understand these things, and not necessarily Buddhism is necessarily going just through an explosion of interest, but all the Eastern religions, Taoism there's a lot of people interested in, Hinduism has a lot of people interested in, Zen Buddhism, which is kind of very different to Pure Land Buddhism and the rest of it. So I think spirituality, people are seeking, aren't they, Jane?
Yes, they are seeking.
People are seeking to find meaning and truth, and I think the East is good because it doesn't say you must believe this. It tells you this is what you've got to do in order to try to find out for yourself. And I think that's the difference, direct experience. That's what's important, not what other people tell you.
Right, Anula, Brad, I'd love to visit you personally for a reading. Where do you actually live?
Jane is hard to get, isn't it? Yeah.
How do I make
I've got to answer your questions also soon.
I'll come as soon as possible. Where do you live, my dear? Where do you live? And Luna.
Would like to thank Domenico for all the hard work he does in bringing this show each week.
Yes, we couldn't do it without Domenico.
And Domenico, does it all for free. Like us, we put in our work in for, but he's not even. Me and Jane can sit here and embellish our egos and all the rest of it in front of you all. But Domenico's in the background. Domenico sits in the background there and does all this work, and an amazing amount of work too. You wait till you see the website, guys. You wait till you see the website. There's some real interesting stuff going on. We're probably going to show it to the patrons first, so we're going to get the patrons to have a look at the model of it. When's the California big one? He means the big earthquake. Will it be in our lifetime? Everyone talks about it every year.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will.
When did the last one happen? It was about the 1901,
I don't see that at the
War?
moment happening. If anything's happening, which is happening now, is higher sea levels, floods, which is nature, but I don't feel there'd be an earthquake.
Well, I think we're getting a lot of I said we'd get a lot of seismic activity, and we are.
More eruptions of volcanoes, I see.
I mean,
especially Hawaii.
But when the volcanoes happen, that means the plates moved. But the volcano happens when the plate moves that way, as when it opens up, and then the plates are pushing against each other as well. So just as you're going to get volcanoes, you're also going to get earthquakes.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen just yet.
I think California's safe at the moment.
It's
I think
fires
it's safe at the moment.
They have to watch.
Well, the weather is going to become something that's going to be more worrying than I think COVID is.
Oh.
I'm seeing you for the first time. Hello from Sweden.
Aren't we
Hello,
wonderful?
Ursula. Nice to see you. Yeah, and there's a lot of you joining for the first time, I know. And don't forget, feel free to ask questions because, don't be shy. And, we try to do this one once a week. You'll see all sorts of videos coming up on both of our channels all the time through the year. But this is always a regular one and it gives you the chance to talk to us. And if you want to really get close to us, go on and become a patron. Just like we've had a few people giving a little bit of a booster thing there. But the patrons, you give a little bit each month. It helps support what we're doing. And you can come and talk to me on Zoom, if that's worth anything, but you can come and talk to me on Zoom. And we do a bit of clairvoyance every now and again on full moons and things. And you can ask me questions in the comments and things, or just feel that you're part of it.
Answer this one, Craig.
Kindly share your views on Modi's chances in the 2024. Regards, Chandan from Mumbai. Happy New Year. Thanks for your blessing. Well, my thoughts about Modi is, when he first came to power, there was a lot of talk from the Nadis saying that Modi was going to be really good for India. And I actually, although he's another one that's a bit of a divisive figure, isn't he? Because I know that India's been going through some pretty hard times, really, with particularly with all the farmers and stuff and things like that. And I know Modi's popularity has dropped quite a lot, but I think he's still going to be there. Actually, I think he's there for another. I don't know. I'm presuming the elections are coming up in India in 2024, but my feeling is Modi's going to be here for a bit longer still. Because actually the actual Hindu nationalism sort of movement has become pretty strong in India. And I think, you know, there's so many divisive forces in the world, in every country in the world at the moment. And I think people are tending to sort of choose sides, as it were. And Modi tends to have formed a kind of a side, you know. So I think he's there to stay in power. I think he'll stay in power, although he's becoming quite unpopular with many people at the moment. I think he's generally quite good for India. I think he's quite good for India.
Oh.
So, Noel Brown.
Yeah, read it.
Every single year, I always watch your yearly predictions for the upcoming year. I absolutely love your predictions. We can have more of these. You can come again, I know that. I've always loved Nostradamus' predictions and feel that you're the next best. I look forward to them every year. The longer the video, the better for me personally. I've read years ago that apparently Buddhism is the true religion. I don't think anything's the true religion, actually. Thanks for all that praise. You're welcome to praise as much as you like. You'll always get your things put up. You know? You can't say any religion's the true religion. I tell you what I think the true religion is. In India, in Hinduism, they say that Hinduism is actually from an older religion, which is they would call the Sanatana Dharma, and I always pronounce it wrong, so sorry for those that say I've picked me up on it. But this is like an old universal religion that spread out through the world and influenced all the religions of the world. Hinduism is kind of sees itself as the custodian of it, but you can also see the same remnants of it in Buddhism, which came out of Hinduism, but also in Taoism, you can see it. You can see it in all the old shamanistic religions. There's hints of it in the ancient Greeks as well, I feel, and even possibly in ancient Sumeria. So there was this earlier sort of religion, which I think was kind of not a religion, but it was the idea that we could become conscious of divinity without any intermediaries. It was pure spirituality. And I think that's what all the religions sort of hanker towards, you know, that we make these man-made religions with rules and regulations because everybody wants to know how to do it this way or that way. Give me some rules. People want rules. But that's the wrong way to go about it. What we've got to do is find the original spirituality within ourselves. It's there. It's always there. It's the bits of it in all the religions of the world. But ultimately, you know, we've got to become ultimately our own Buddha, our own Jesus, our own God. You know, we've got to have the realization ourselves, our own personal experience. And that's what I call spirituality. And religion is kind of the organization of it into a social world and with moral codes and things. But what we should do is go direct. We've got to be the enlightened ones, not leave it to not listen to think someone else is going to tell me what to do.
Right, and talking about enlightened ones, Craig, Annalise says, I live in Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. If you go on www.psychics.co.uk, then fill in the contact form, consultation with Jane Hamilton Parker. I'm happy to see you, and you can make it will take about 3.5 hours.
From Yarmouth, it's about 4 hours each way.
Yeah.
Because we go up to Peterborough, it's quite a lot.
I'm worth it.
Yeah. You'd have to stay overnight, I think, if you did that. Rachel's saying, are there major changes in 2022? Oh, well, I've made most of my predictions. Have you got anything you want to say, Jane?
I'm going to do my predictions on my channel probably after next week. And I'm going to do a new thing which is called water divinity.
Are you going to do scrying?
Yes.
Like Nostradamus did. We were talking about that. It'd be quite interesting to try it, wouldn't it? Scry, like...
but it comes to me naturally anyway.
In fact, we don't need any of those things, really, do we, Jane? Because, I mean, we just get it through... I don't know what it is.
It comes through naturally through what I call my TV screen.
Yeah. It's clairvoyance, really, isn't it? That's what clairvoyance is about.
Yeah.
And it's mediumship, but a bit more, because we're not really just getting it from the spirit world, are we? It's like we see it. We see it. We connect with the... I suppose what you're doing really is connecting with the universal mind. Some call it the Akashic record.
Prophecies and
like
seership.
the universal
It's
mind.
nothing new because it's always going right back in Jesus' time, wasn't it? But we actually see things, and it's a knowing ability that we have within us.
It's like you plug in. It's like we plug into the internet and we can connect all over the world. I think what we do with clairvoyance is we kind of plug into the spiritual mycelium, the spiritual internet, as it were, and it connects us with the memories of the past, but also what's happening in the future, or the potentials for the future, because the future's not completely set. It's kind of a web of things that we're going to travel through, but we've not actually. It doesn't happen until we see it, as it were. It's a bit like quantum works in a way. But it's kind of we can get a feel of it, can't we? We can get a feel of where we're going because it's not set.
Jay says, first timer here from Scotland. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jay.
Hello, Jay. I'll receive your book and loving it. Message from the Universe. Thank you. Oh, you read that? And that is one of my favourites, actually. Messages from the Universe is one of my favourite books. It was the first real book I could write without a publisher breathing down my neck, because I went straight to Amazon with that one. I thought, I'm not going to worry about publishers of this one. I'll go straight to Amazon. I'm going to write what I want to write, not what they keep telling me I've got to write. And it really did include some of the sort of turning points. Particularly when obviously in that book you read about the Nadis and things like that, which I harp on about a lot. But it was amazing, incredible things. And then I pick up on those stories, of course, in Messages from after Messages from the Universe. I pick up with Mystic Journey to India, and you can go and watch the video as well for Mystic Journey to India. I decided in the end to publish it here on YouTube, so you can watch it for free. There's a few adverts jumping in on it, unfortunately, because of the music line on it. And then finally, Be Happy, the latest book I've written. So there's three of them really there. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I enjoyed writing that book. It wrote me in a way. Funny.
Jason says, flattery will give you everywhere.
Absolutely, yes.
Flatter me, Craig. Flatter me.
We got no egos, Jane, have we? No.
Nikaka was watching the Indian psychic, forgot his name, that said people in Middle East countries will start wanting to be atheists in coming years, and it will cause tension with governments.
Actually, you're right, Nick. I mean, in India, there's a real big movement, a skeptic movement. You know, just like we had James Randi over here that wants to throw everything out and thinks we're all a load of absolute charlatans and deluded or whatever we think we are. And we're all here to con people. Okay, that's what he thinks or thought. And there's a real nasty sort of tone to it, and the same sort of nastiness, as it were, because it is nasty in many respects, because it's hateful of us. It thinks we're all here to harm people. It is happening in India. There's a very, very powerful agnostic, atheistic sort of movement that wants to say that India's got to pull itself out of the past. It's got to get rid of all its gods. It's got to get rid of all this nonsense with rituals and pujas and gurus and things. And I suppose if you're thinking that the world is just a materialistic place and that's science and is everything and the be-all and end of all of it, I mean, that sort of extremism of thinking is dangerous, and it's going to come up hard against the revival that's happening in India of Hinduism at the same time, because we begin to sort of see how shallow that materialistic view is. It doesn't take into account consciousness. It doesn't take into account the human spirit. It doesn't take into account the idea of life force and prana, which I see with my own eyes when I look around my hands or around a person's head. These things are self-evident to most of us that are interested in these type of things or open to it. It doesn't take into account the unconscious mind and what we can, telepathy and things like that. So that materialistic, awful materialism, I think it is. It's almost like witch finders that some of those materialistic attitudes can be. But they're the ones that are deluded because they refuse to study the evidence of the supernatural, and whether it comes out in a supernatural form, in a religious form, or whether it comes out in psychic experiences or whatever, that is a dangerous force in my mind of ignorance. And they think they're the light and we're the dark. Anyway, I've had to say.
You just answered that.
Hi Craig, just finished your book, Be Happy. Oh God, a lot of people have been reading the books, loved it and found it very uplifting. Thank you again, Lynn.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a happy book, isn't it? It's about happiness,
Yeah,
because I
it's
mean that's
nice.
what we try to.
Everyone
Jane and
should be happy.
It is. I mean, that's why I called it that, because Sharavana, he always says to you, doesn't he, be happy, and he always says to me, be happy.
Are you happy, Jane? Very happy, Swami. Are you happy to see me? Happy to see you. Happy to see you too.
I think it's the key of it all, actually, isn't it? I mean, why religion and science and all the rest of it, also bloody miserable, aren't they? I mean, all miserable. I can't see any religion being...
Brim and fire.
Brimstone
and fire.
Can a religion really be understanding the truth if it's so miserable? Is that what the whole of existence is about? I think the wise people, you look at the wise people, they've usually got a bit of a twinkle in their eye, or they're completely over the top happy.
Oh.
I mean, you look at the great gurus, the great teachers from all religions, you know, all of them were kind of a bit mavericks and pretty happy mavericks at that.
Yeah. Now, Anna says, good morning, Craig and Jane, listening live from Australia for the first time. Love and light, Anna. Love and light to you as well, Anna.
So we've got people from America and we've got people from Australia. That's nice.
Joanne Smith, I've been watching lots of your videos this week. Came across you on here. Subscribed straight away. Really enjoyed your predictions for the UK. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I know you guys like the prediction stuff. We don't want to be doing endless predictions all the time, though, because I mean you can only do so many, can't you? Really. Otherwise, you've covered everything, Uncle Tom Cobley and all, and then your predictions become weaker that way. But anyway, I'm glad you've been enjoying them. We're going to do lots of other stuff too, you know.
And Nikki says, Jane, I look forward to 2020. Yes, you will look forward to it. You see, at the moment, I'm looking after my mother, and she goes back to Cambridgeshire next week. Then I'll have more time to do more things for everybody.
Because apart from this show and what you follow on this channel, Jane's got her own little thing going now where she's starting to put videos. So the easiest way to find it is just find Jane on Facebook first of all. Psychic
medium Jane Hamilton Parker. And it's really what I call spiritual chitty chatty. And I will do the predictions, as I say. And and it's nice really that you're connecting with both of us, because Domenico, myself and Craig,
and
we all work
Domenico's got
as
his own
one.
channel too, the Italian Dad.
Don't
forget, the Italian Dad, he goes under most of the time. Odd Curiosities, put Odd Curiosities Italian Dad, you'll find him. And there's some really interesting stuff there, which again, that'll all be coming up much more over the year as well, we hope. Will we find a cure for cancer?
Well, I hope we will in the 21st century, because I think all these things take an awful lot of money, don't they? Because when you think of the vaccine that came up for COVID-19, it usually takes 18 months to develop vaccines. But I'm sure that one day we will have a cure for cancer.
I got a feeling we're getting close, actually. Yeah. I got a real strong feeling it's going to be with us soon. I wish they find it for diabetes too, because we obviously have that in our family. But I think it's going to come through things like stem cells.
Yes.
And I think all this business with coronavirus, although cancer's not a virus, I think it's put a huge amount of world resources into medical research. And I think we're going to see a number of little extras, we sent men to the moon and ended up with Teflon frying pans and things. We get extras out of it, things you didn't expect. But I think we will find that medical science is going to advance quite a lot more very shortly.
They'll analyse people's DNA and they'll go back to it. And in the future, it's not just stem cells. It'll be some simple thing that they'll have
Do you know what I think it's caused by? I think most cancers are caused by processed food. Well, because you think of all the junk we're putting into our body. Yeah. I think it is, because cancer started to become the big thing in the 1930s, which came along at the same time as processed food. I mean, there could be other things as well.
It's interesting, there's not a lot of cancer in the Chinese culture, Craig, because they drink all green tea.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I've done a thing
certain
like
conditions,
on stomach cancers.
Certain conditions tend to be in more countries than other. Particularly those countries that don't eat fibre.
Matt says, really enjoy your YouTube channel, Jane. Keep up the great work that you do and reaching out to everyone. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you.
Yeah, I think we will get a cure for cancer in time. I think it's coming close. Shout out to Jane's new channel.
Here I come. What's that? It reminds me of The Shining. Here comes Johnny.
Just want to know about Meghan and Harry moved to New York. I didn't know they were moving to New York, did you? That's news to me. But
I think we're always going to have these two in the news, aren't we? They're always
they're publicity seekers.
Yeah,
Meghan certainly
you
is.
know, you're always going to hear about them. But you know, I think the news at the moment, people are not focusing on them; they're focusing on Prince Andrew.
Well, yeah, because it's all that, you know. I think most people in Britain are sick and tired of their childish squealing and they're spoilt. They're like spoilt, spitting their dummies out, spoilt kids, aren't they? Frankly, and they've had it easy. They had an easy route, and they decided that, well, why should we do things for free for the country? Let's go and monetize this for ourselves, you know. Okay, they want to do that, but I think most people have just become completely exasperated by the two of them, frankly, and they'll always keep trying. How many more beans can they spill? You know, what more shocking things can they say? They're kind of running out, really, aren't they? You know, we got plenty of great juicy royal gossip at the moment with all these Epstein stuffs and all the rest of it, haven't we? So the focus is off them, and I bet they hate it. You know, nasty Uncle Andrew is getting all the limelight when Meghan's thinking, well, I need the limelight on me because I want to I want to be a TV star. I'd like to be a politician or whatever she's got going through in her mind. No, I think hopefully those two will be less news about them, and I think eventually it will fizzle out a lot.
Hilda
just like it did with Fergie.
Greetings from Toronto, first time watching. Greetings, Hilda, to you.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of people from Canada. It's
Christina
nice.
says, Jane, lovely hearing about Sister Gertrude in your recent video. When did you first become aware she was one of your guides? Is this common for a person you know in life to come in spirit? It depends on the person.
You better explain, because people won't know who Sister Gertrude was.
Sister Gertrude was a nun that I was brought up in a convent. I didn't like the Reverend Mother, and she was an Irish nun. And she used to say to me, there's something very special about your child and everything. You have the gift and that. And I didn't quite understand it at the time. And then she passed into the spirit world. And many years, well, let's fast forward 40 years later, she came through as a spirit guide. A famous medium called Coral Polge actually done a drawing of her, a likeness. And she helps me with people that have lost children on the earth plane.
Yeah, she was Irish, I presume, from the accent.
She was very Irish, yeah. Very, very Irish she was, Craig.
Yeah, I know about that. I know about Sister Gertrude. So, yeah, we have these spirit guides. So that's that's something I think people find
and
fascinating,
funny enough,
actually.
What was I thinking of? When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nun. What was I thinking of?
Right.
And I wanted to be a nurse.
Yeah. And I wanted to be an astronaut, and I never got there. Yeah.
It can be arranged.
Yeah. Hi again, both. Do you see anything yet about Maddie McCann?
No, we don't.
And that question
we don't
comes
really
up a
want
lot,
to go
really.
into that.
I haven't seen any more. I mean, I had commented about it before that it came up in the Nardis, didn't it? It came, not my Nardis, but someone who I knew found Maddie McCann's Nardi. I think from the likelihood of it is that she's no longer with us. I think it's most likely to be the case. But I can't say I'm in touch with Maddie's spirit. The only way you would be in touch with Maddie, because you need the person with you, like the mother or someone like that, because it's all very well these mediums that pull Elvis Presley out of the etheric and say, I've got Presley with me now. You can't do it that way. You have to really have a connection of some sort with someone that can verify that it's just not you off on some crazy ego trip or some crazy fantasy. So in order to make a connection with any spirit person,
and I think
you really
it's
need
not
a
just
thread
about
of some
Madeleine
sort.
Kane. There's many children that have gone missing, many children that have been murdered. So, there's many children.
I think the whole Maddie McCain thing brought it to the public attention, though, didn't it? About some of the suffering that does go on and what it must be like, and all the others that have gone through similar sort of horrific
like Keith
losses.
Bennett, the Moors murder.
Yeah, well, we met the mother, didn't we?
Winnie Johnson that got in contact with me, and this poor lady. I mean, she's passed to the higher life now, but she would go at Saddlemore every weekend, and she would take a metal detector.
Yeah, they spanned her going on the moors in the end because she was going on there every weekend. She said if only I could just hug his bones, just to know, that uncertainty, that lack of knowledge. And none of the media, although she spoke to us, and I remember we gave a little bit of evidence about the belt and things like that.
I do, yeah.
But the, you can't really ever give solace to somebody like that until she actually finds,
Well, she needs,
she needs
and
closure.
all she wanted to do is find that child's body, rest his bones and have a proper burial for him, which is understandable because you need to have an enclosure on it.
Yeah, that was the Moors murder,
Right,
so
do you want
that
to do
don't know
the
about
next
it.
one?
When you're out and about doing your day-to-day stuff, do you get messages from spirit pop into you up as soon as you come in contact with strangers?
It doesn't happen like that. It's only happened once to me. I remember I was in Marks and Spencer's looking at the makeup counter, and there was this lady very heavily pregnant, and I saw a spirit child standing next to her, and I thought, well, how can I do this? I don't want to shock this person because she's pregnant. And she turned around and smiled, and I said, I don't want to alarm you, but have you lost a child 4 years old? Yes, I have. I said, I've just seen a load of autumn leaves go over this child. She said her name was Autumn. I said, would you like to come back home with me and I'll give you a reading? Anyway, this little girl had been run over by a lorry. The mother had come over from the States to visit family. She was heavily pregnant, and the child wanted to say, I'm looking forward to my brother that's coming. And this lady said, yes, I am expecting a boy. And you must never, ever blame yourself what happened to me. And this lady said, oh, this is a weight being lifted off of me. So I believe sometimes we have to be in the right place at the right time to help somebody. But I can't say I go up to strangers and sing things.
No, you would definitely, it would be quite wrong to sort of just tap people on the shoulder. That was an exceptional circumstance,
Yes.
because, you felt very drawn to her. And to be honest, when we're out and about in our daily lives, it certainly applies to me most of the time, I'm completely shut down from the spirit world, because if we're open up to the spirit world all the time, we get absolutely drained by it. We get absolutely, you get the nutty person comes and sits next to you in the cinema or on the bus or something. You get drained by their energy. So if you're open like that all the time, you're very, very vulnerable. And a lot of people, I think, get depressed because they might be a bit over open with their auras like that. So, and it wouldn't be right either to push stuff on people that aren't ready. But every now and again, sometimes it's almost like an emergency sort of thing. It just feels right, and something might be said.
Yeah, Christina's saying, are you alive now? We're very much alive.
Yeah.
Craig's alive,
Unless you're watching
I'm
it
alive.
later. Yeah. We're live while you're on, Christina. The last question's coming up, folks. And again, if you are enjoying this, help support the channel, please, because Jane and I are producing as many videos as we can nowadays and trying to put as much effort into it as we can. But of course that takes our time, and it helps us if you can support us in an indirect way by supporting the patrons. Now the patrons, it's all a not-for-profit company at the moment. We're getting all the stuff written up to become a full-on charity, so it doesn't go in our pockets, but it does help support the whole idea of what we're trying to do. We're trying to reach out to people with this type of talk, with the other videos. Someone's got to help support and pay the bills. So if you help as a patron, it is a tremendous help, not just to us, but we do charitable work as well. We do things for all sorts of things that you can read about on the Patreon channel. So if you do that, you can also come and join us and see us by Zoom and interact with us as well. So there's something you get out of it as well as putting in. And what you put in comes back to you as good karma. It always does. If you want things, you want to be happy in your life, not just be a patron, but do good things in life, isn't it? Do good things, help people, feed people, and things like, and plant trees. All those things are very, very good karmic things that you can do, and patrons help us with that too. So there you go. And if you're new, follow us. Right, last questions, Jane.
Right.
He's still telling us about the patrons.
Oh, that's nice.
And of course, Jane's got her Instagram channel too. And I expect you can put your little links up on there to your YouTube channel that you're doing as well. So, what's our last questions tonight? We have a little moment of silence brought to you by our sponsors tonight. I don't think we got any last questions. He's thumbing through now, having a look to see what we got left. So.
Okay.
What's the difference between a ghost and a spirit, or is there a difference? I'll answer that.
Residue.
Yeah, I think a ghost is what we would call perhaps residual energy, as Derek Okora used to like to call it a lot, but it's a good word for it actually. That there's, it's like the stone recording theory is another, they call it as well. That in an environment, just like when we would do things like psychometry. So, we might demonstrate psychometry sometimes when we do our seance rooms, for example. You can hold an object to somebody and read that object and pick up the vibrations on that object. So that is that person's vibration you're picking up, and you describe who used to own that object. And it's the same with an environment. It picks up energies that stay there. And somebody that might be spiritually open might spot that and see it as a ghost, see it as a replay of something that happened there. So a ghost is not conscious, but a spirit is what we are. I'm a spirit, Jane's a spirit, you're a spirit. A spirit lives in our body. This is our etheric form. This is our life force. This is our pranic energy. This is our causal sheath. This is what leaves the body after death, and that's the spirit, which goes to the spirit world. Some talk about that the spirit can sometimes be trapped on this earth plane. I don't think you can get trapped on the earth plane, but I think that sometimes spirits have unfinished business and they want to come back and try to make their presence known. So that would be like an active spirit. But most of what people see is, when they think they see a ghost, is a ghost being a residual energy from something that was there before, a feeling, and that might be seen as a projected image of what we call a ghostly person, whatever. Oh, not and yet. I've just finished the last one, but I expect I've got a new one to come. What do you think I should write about? I'd like to write another one, but it's funny, the books, when they come, it's almost like you've noticed from the books, I write them as it's happening. That India one, most of that I wrote as it was happening. Messages from the Universe, I wrote most of that as it was happening. So let's see what the divine brings for me and Jane next. Who knows what's next in our path? I'll write about that, I expect. I'd quite like to write about our psychic family, actually, and all the experiences we've had collectively.
Neil's saying, thank you very much for the wonderful work that you do. I just subscribed to Jane's channel as well. Oh, thank you so much. God bless you.
I haven't put a link in the description, but
Okay.
I'll put one in there later.
Hi, Jane and Craig. Brilliant show. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. James is another one of our good, big time
Christina
patrons.
says, thank you both.
Help.
Thank you, Christina.
Well, it's nice to see you all, guys. It's nice to get back and do the channel again, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing the new stuff, though. I'm really am. So, any guests? We want a few guests. Some good
Thank
guests.
you.
And if anybody lives in the Winchester area, we will be looking for people to help us in the daytime with some of our transmissions, because obviously Domenico can't be doing it 24/7. So if there's anybody in the Winchester area, get in touch, because we're looking for people who have a bit of a knowledge of cameras, can help us with some of the shows in the daytime that we hope to do more often, don't we? So a few more live ones perhaps to start with. God bless, says MW.
I've already got bless them, Christina.
Christine?
Help.
Okay.
On its way.
Hi, Craig and James. That's Caroline.
Hi, Caroline.
Well, thanks for all joining us again here, folks. When you see spirits, Jane, do you appear solid, same as you see as a person?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I get an interview with them, or sometimes I actually see them. Every medium works different, but I can see them and I sense and feel when they're around me. Yeah,
it varies all the time. Sometimes I feel it's like someone's face is right close to me talking, or whispering in my ear.
Shopping.
Yeah, shopping. Yeah. Hi, Happy New Year. Of course, Happy New Year again to you all, folks. Yeah. And I think again will be a happier year. I think 2022 is going to be a bit of a better year. I think we're gradually going to start seeing much more optimism in the world, and a much better way, At a cottage the other week, I saw a shadow in a very old cottage. They were just standing looking over my son. They did not notice me, that they were a shadow. 3 hours before they left.
That's a long time, isn't it?
And that's a long time to see something like that. We'd obviously have to interview you on something like that, Caroline. It's hard to sort of get to the bottom of what that could have been and how you experienced it. But people, like James was saying, everybody kind of experiences in a different way. I mean, mediums vary in that way they see things, and sometimes people see a spirit like stood in the room, but that spirit is actually already just a mental picture in your head, because you think everything we see around us is actually a picture generated in the brain. So
life is an illusion, isn't it, Craig?
Well, it is, So I mean, if a person takes a hallucinogenic, all that picture changes.
I don't take hallucinogenic.
No, but that picture changes, and it's exactly the same for a medium. If spirit drops something into your head, you might see it stood next to you. It's ultimately it's all in you. Everything is ultimately an inner view of the world. Thank you, says Paulette.
Thank you. Jane, you were spot on about the Omicron. Thank you. Yes, because I mentioned there's some viruses and there's a few more to come yet.
Yeah.
Thank you both for your hard work, Jane Hamilton Parker and Craig Hamilton Parker.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, thank you, Matt Kay.
Nice of you to join us again.
Yeah. Hope you're well.
Thank you both.
God bless. And Sairam.
We'll have to talk about Sai Baba again.
You both
sometime.
are great. Relationship with God, Spirit is with us. Holy Spirit, Jesus wipes out. What's he wipe out?
Wipes out bad karma. Well, that's true. All spiritual, all highly evolved spiritual
sages,
beings,
gurus, avatars.
even by looking upon them, they say, which is a guy called Darshan, will wipe away karma. I mean, anything. Whenever you connect with a higher level of spirit, whatever it might be, whether it be in meditation or it be with the company you keep. You don't not necessarily have to keep the company of holy men and holy women, but if you surround yourself with the right people in life, that will rub off on you. That will make you happy. If you start surrounding yourself with negative people all the time, you're going to go on that same slippery slope, aren't you? Wipes karma.
Thank you,
Namaste,
Nana.
and thank you for your time and love. Two of the most valuable things in life.
It is. Love is the highest thing that we can have, and your health is your wealth.
Thank you, great show again, and thank you, Jane, regarding Steve.
Yeah, good. And I hope he's getting better. And I know you suffer at times, Kathy, but think positive, send out healing thoughts to you and wonderful vibrations around you. Okay, and I know you get tired at times.
Really enjoyed your show. Thank you. When are you on next?
Saturday.
We're on all the time. You just follow the channel, you'll get updates. But every Saturday at 7 o'clock UK time, so you check it out on Google what time it is in your country, you should be able to catch us. And you can always catch us after we've gone live, of course. But it's quite fun doing it live, because then you can, of course, you can interact with us and ask us questions about our other stuff.
To them, won't we, Craig?
Yeah, we try to reply to as many people as possible. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Leslie. It's lovely the work you do. I missed you over the holiday time. Oh, thank you so much.
Well, that's nice to think that you look forward to seeing us. That's good, yeah. I think we do kind of generate an energy between us, actually. I feel that when we connect like this, although we're just sat in a room here and you're sat in a room there, I just feel we're all kind of, in a way, connected.
Take note of this, Craig. Take note. Always love the live information. You two are adorable, and many blessings 2022. Many blessings to you, and let's all hope that all the world's going to change for the better now.
Thanks, Jane Hamilton Parker, for your good work. I think we
you
had that
said
one up earlier.
Yes. Thank you.
You can always say it twice. Thanks.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you for joining us, folks.
Teresa.
Great to see you back live. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Teresa.
We'll also get some more guests, hopefully, through 2022. I like it when the guests come on.
Hi, Craig and Jane. Thank you. Looking forward to
the end of the pandemic. I think it's on its way. Yeah. I think it's on its way out. Slowly.
Springtime's just around the corner.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think summertime things will be pretty much fine. And I think next winter they'll probably get another wave of it again, but not as bad. I think each time a little bit less, as more and more people become immune. I just wish they could get those all the vaccines out to the poorer countries, really, so that everybody can get a fair chance at recovery from it, Right, I think we've come to the end of the show now, Jane.
Do you
So
now?
let us say goodbye to you all, and thank you for joining us again.
Bye, and lots of love. Do take care. Look after yourself. Mask and hands distance.
Oh, God. All right, see you all soon. Bye for now, folks. Bye.
Would you like to know more about the paranormal world? Craig Hamilton Parker's books are now available on Amazon. Explore the future. Discover what happens after death. Unlock the secrets of your dreams. Learn to develop your own psychic skills.